Good morning, good morning. There you are. So pleased you could make it for our little chat this morning. Well, let's just dive right into it because a listener asked us to chat about defining values and life goals. Great. Let's look at this. Defining values. Firstly, what are values? Values are the things you believe are important in the way you live and work, in the way you lead your life. They should determine your priorities, and deep down, they are probably the measures you use to tell you if your life is turning out the way you'd wanted to or hoped it would. When the things you do and the way you behave match your values, life is usually good. You are satisfied and content. But when how you behave and what you do, when they don't align with your personal values, that's when things feel wrong. Things feel off and uncomfortable. This can be a real source of unhappiness, listeners. And this is why making a conscious effort to identify your values is such an important and useful, informative exercise. So how do we determine our values? Firstly, values exist whether you recognize them or not, just like gravity. It's there, whether you like to believe it or not. Life is easier when you acknowledge your values and your plans and decisions honor your values. Example, if you value family, but you have to work long hours and maybe you have to work on a Saturday, this can be a cause of real internal stress and conflict. If you know your values, then you use them to make decisions about how to live your life. So, if family is important to you, then you ought not to be in a position where you are working long hours and away from home a lot. If you know your values, listeners, they guide your friendships, the company you keep, in other words. They guide your activities, what you would like to do and what you would not like to do, where you work, where you go, how you speak to people, how accountable you are to people, and how you expect people to be accountable to themselves and to you. In other words, take the time to understand the real priorities in your life, and you will be able to determine the best direction for you to reach your life goals. So you see how these two themes, if I can call it that, these concepts is a better word, values and goals, dovetail beautifully. Values are usually pretty stable over a lifetime. So let's say integrity and honesty is something you value. It would probably remain so for the duration of your life, but there are others that will change as we move through life. When we are young and we don't have a family, we have different values to once we are married and we have a family and we've got small children in the home. Our values are very different. So how you determine your values, I would suggest this little exercise. Firstly, identify the times you were really happy. Identify the times you were really proud or most proud. And identify the times you felt fulfilled and satisfied. And you will probably see a theme. So let's say the times when you were really happy. Let's say that was when you were on a long hike. And then there was the occasion where you were out on a mountain. And then there was an occasion where you were on a game drive. So you can see the theme there. It's outdoors, it's adventurous. Whereas someone else may say, well, I was most happy when I was indoors. I was reading a good book. I was researching something, or I found the answer to a puzzling question. Again, a theme. And that will help you to then say, well, I obviously really value being outdoors, or I really value knowledge, or I really value artificial intelligence. I spend a lot of time, let's say, looking into artificial intelligence and all it has to offer us nowadays. Some common values just to help give you an idea, is accountability, excellence. Do you always give your best and expect the best of others? Positivity. Are you a positive person and you like to be in the company of other positive people? Adventurousness, as I've discussed, if you're an adventurous person, you are not going to be happy and fulfilled and satisfied if you spend too much time with couch potatoes. Ambition, fairness, faith, fitness, reliability. It's just a few. There are a slew of them. So those are the values that you can, as I say, identify for yourself. And then that will guide what you do, how you behave. Again, as I say, if you're an outdoorsy person, it's definitely going to guide your life choices. If you're an indoors person, if you're a bookworm, that is going to guide your life and your life choices. So you'll already get an idea of how important and certainly useful it is to have your values in place. The next one is goals. How do we find goals? Now, there are people out there who happily know exactly what their life goals are and they pursue them, and that's great. But there are so many people who say, I just don't know what my goals are. Carry on, I go through the motions. Life is not horrible, but I don't know what my goals are. So let me give you 4 easy steps to help you define some life goals. Firstly, make a list of what's important to you. Just a random quick list. Don't censor it too much. Don't overthink it. Don't overanalyze it. Just write down my child, my friends, my home, learning, my dog, being fit, whatever. Make a list. Number 2, ask the question why after each item. So let's say friends. Then say, why are my friends important? Well, they support me. They are a positive influence of my life. I love the social action. So that's the why to that. Once you've answered why to each of those little items that you listed, then you go to number 3. Use your answer to identify themes or values. Okay? So you will see themes. If you look at that, you'll see, well, a lot of the things that I wrote down has to do with career, promotion, challenges at work, being in a particular work environment. So career would then be a theme, would be a value to you. Or it may be family, or it may be adventure, or it may be learning. There are themes that will identify goals and values. So the goals that you will set that will excite you are the goals that really speak to your values, that most inspire you. Those things, when it comes to finding your goals in life, the goals that will inspire you most will be based on your values and what's really important to you. So if family is really important to you, your goals will have to speak and align with family. If, again, I come back to fitness is really important to you, your goals will speak to that, that value of yours. So you can see how values and goals support and inform each other, and that's why it's such a pertinent exercise in life to know your values, know your goals, and make sure they align, they honor each other. Listeners, when we don't set goals, it is as if we are just leaving our lives up to chance to see what will happen, what comes over your path. Whereas if you set goals, you literally succeed on purpose. And when you succeed on purpose, you can repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. It builds confidence. It builds satisfaction. It builds a sense of achievement. And it fosters that feel-good, satisfied, exciting feeling about your life. Now, I think that's worthwhile, don't you? For taking an hour or 2 or 3 and doing this exercise or these 2 exercises to find out what your values are, to to excavate your goals and to have your values and goals on each other. And I've talked about it before, about the Greek philosophy about eudaimonia, where it says, know your purpose, acquire the knowledge and the skills to fulfill your purpose, and then know your values and make sure your purpose honors your values. Because if it doesn't, there will be unhappiness, internal conflict, internal stress, and life is not that great. You have that, like the little pebble in the shoe. It just irritates and irritates till you have a big blister. So I hope that was useful. If you'd like some more information, then you know where to contact me, myself or Ryan. If you enjoy these talks, listeners, please let us know. Please let Ryan know in South Coast Radio. And if you want to drop me a little WhatsApp, that would be awesome. And of course, please give us a thumbs up on YouTube. It's on Spotify as well. Subscribe, as I say, so these little talks of ours, which I thoroughly enjoy, it's such a privilege, can carry on and also can be available to more people and to help them. So with that, I wish you a very, very good day. The weekend is winking at us. So I hope you are excited for that and that you will take some time to discover your values and set some life goals.
The radio station you can't live without. This is your radio.
This is South Coast Radio.